Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. Hi, my name is May, the Market Trader, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with our risk disclosure here, guys. Just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader is to be treated as general information only. None of the information contained herein is intended as investment advice or offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. An investor could lose all their initial investment. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way here, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to see what news we have in store for us that could impact the markets here. Okay, so a fair amount of news today. We've had a lot of employment numbers here reporting this morning, all not positive. Okay, so unemployment rate is a tick higher. Non-farm payroll tick lower. Private payroll also tick lower. We have a number of Fed members speaking today between 10 a.m. to looks like 12:30 p.m. All the way up to 1, it appears. Okay. Then we have a U.S. consumer credit reporting at 2 p.m. We have additional executive orders being signed at 2:30 p.m. We have additional remarks about the digital asset summit that was held at looks like at 3 p.m. and then U.S. crypto summit also reporting at 3 p.m. So fair amount of news that has the potential of shaking up the markets. So let's go ahead and see what we can make of them. All right. So let me go ahead and move into our charting platform. Okay. And take a look. All right. So there is our charting platform, and we're starting with the market that we normally start with, and that is the gold. We're not going to start off with actually we will start off with the daily. I'm going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. I'm going to turn off session volume profile here for a moment as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see here. See some other levels here, so I'll turn those off as well. All right, so you can see here, looks like we took a turn here to the downside, but looks like we're either in some sort of range price action, because I do see that we're starting to develop a little bit of a triangle pattern here. Okay, that could lead us to our next move in this market. Okay, the question is in what direction. That I don't know, right? So, but it looks like we are a little bit in range. All right, we have not made any new higher highs or lower lows of late. Okay, so we still have 29.75. That's still, I guess, resistance to the upside, and it appears that we have 28.50 below as resistance to the downside. So the question is, which direction is this market going to go? I do not know the direction, but what I do know is that the magnitude of the move is going to be something in the order of the mouth of this triangle, either to the upside to 3,100, okay, or it's going to be something that comes back down to say 2,700. Okay, so we're either 400 points higher or 400 points lower. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Okay. As we get closer to the apex of this move, I suspect that that's what's going to take place here. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Let me go ahead and remove the lines here. now that we've got a little quick analysis here. Okay, so of late, we're starting to we seem to be having some trouble getting above 29.30. We've been in this kind of range, kind of price action of late in this market, right? A lot of overlapping price candles. Okay, not really suited necessarily for executions, right? Because we're getting chopped up here a little bit. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so 30-minute chart, we have a developing bullish candle. I'm assuming as a result of some of the news that we received this morning. Okay, so the question now becomes: is this going to sustain and break 29.30? Because that's the level that it's having trouble breaking above. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little bit of a line in the sand here, just to kind of remind me that this is a level that it needs to break. Okay, so somewhere in this range. Okay, that it needs to break and hold in order for me to really embrace or begin to embrace future pricing headed higher here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile, get a sense. I suspect I know the answer to this question, but we'll do this nonetheless. We're going to go and take a look and see where price is in relation to yesterday's session. Okay. And here we are inside of it. Okay. Right now, we're still inside of it. We made an attempt. We made an attempt here to get above it. Okay. Or making an attempt to get above it. Okay. We did get above it, and then we came back inside it and rotated through. Okay, rotated right through the value range. Now we're back at this again. Looks like as a result of the news, we have a relatively wide initial balance range, which I'm going to go ahead and add to this chart if I can locate my initial balance tool. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's my initial balance tool. All right, so we have a relatively wide initial balance range, and I'm assuming as a result of the news that we received earlier. Okay, so we have price kind of hanging around or near value area high. Okay, so that could lead to higher prices. I think the only concern that I have is the fact that we did get a little bit of a selling wick. Okay, so it was not necessarily accepted. Okay, higher prices was not necessarily accepted. 29.30 again reared its ugly head here. Okay, in kind of serving as a little thorn for the bulls here a little bit. Okay, so the question is, are we going to be able to break and close above? If we are going to be able to break and close above, then I would say that we have a chance to get back to some of these highs here, 29.40. Okay, as the most recent high. Okay. But first things first, we need to get above 29.30. If we cannot get above 29.30, then I would expect that we would kind of rotate back down and see if we can locate buyers lower here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the anchor VWAP. All right. I'm gonna look for it. The start of London. There it is. Okay. So price is currently below. I guess working right up against this anchored VWAP. So we're above the daily VWAP, below the anchor VWAP. All right. I'm just going to call out a couple of levels here, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and add my ASR here to this market. Okay. So there's my ADR. Okay. Was doing some things yesterday as far as training here. So let make this a red. Okay. Area. And then I'm going to make this a green area. What is my red? That's just me marking area of resistance. Okay, that's an area that I manually marked as an area of resistance. Okay, this is the most recent high here. Okay, that we have not been able to get above. Okay, all right. Let's see here. What was I going to do here? Okay, so I have ADR here. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR. Okay, ASR. I'll open this up here. Okay, so there is ASR and ADR. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the range here. I'm going to add a little text box on a couple of levels that I'm going to be tracking here. So I'm going to be tracking ASR high, right? Because that will serve as a target for me on any sort of price extension. Okay, so ASR high coming in at 29.41. Okay, that's ASR high. And then we have ADR high, which is not far away. Okay, looks like a tad higher here at looks like 2941.6. Okay, so we'll put ADR high, but I think between ASR and ADR high, we have a general vicinity of an area that could serve as resistance to any sort of potential move to the upside. Okay, so we have ASR and ADR high. Okay, we have the value area high range here coming in at 29.27. Okay, 29.27 is going to be my value area high. 29.27. Okay, that's my value area high. Okay, that's another important level, I would say. Okay, and let's see what else. Initial balance, you can fare for yourselves. We have 29.17. Actually, what I might want to understand is, if I can find it here, is settlement. So we'll open this up here for a second. So settlement is 29.26. So not far from value area high. Okay. So we have settlement at 29.26.6, I think it is. Yeah, that's our settlement price. Okay. And then our point of control is 29.23. .8. Okay, that is our point of control. Okay, and then our value area low is 29.19.4. Okay, so again, these areas are going to serve as targets or areas of potential reversal. Okay, value area low. Okay, all right. We'll go ahead and turn this off now, since it does kind of clutter up the charts here a little bit. So after the initial push that we received as a result of news, looks like sellers have begun to step into this. Okay, we got to a high of 29.33, and now we're down to 29.22. Look how large this selling wick is here. Okay, so some sellers have kind of stepped into this market. Okay, they reconsidered their view after, I guess, taking a closer look here at the news here. Okay, so we'll have to see. Okay, if this is going to produce any sort of extension in either direction. Right now, given this selling wick, I'm a little hesitant on the long side. We'll have to wait and see what kind of candle we get here next on the next 30-minute candle to establish this initial balance range. Okay. But right now, technically, we're above our daily VWAP, but are below our anchor VWAP. Okay. So a little bit of indecision here, right? So we'll have to wait and see and wait for this initial balance range to establish. Okay. And then maybe use the initial balance range as maybe an indication. Okay. If we get an extension higher, then we move with that move. Or if we get an extension lower, we can maybe move with that. Okay. So a little bit of indecision now. Again, initially the thought was that maybe it was going to be bullish because we're breaking some structure here. But this 29.30 level looks like, again, has kind of, again, put a little thorn in the side here of the bulls here. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see how this candle closes, how strong this candle closes. But if it closes the way it is right now, the expectation is that maybe we head lower in this market. Okay. Problem is that it's going to be difficult to kind of manage risk here a little to some degree. Okay. All right. That's pretty much what I wanted to share here on the gold. Let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. We'll take a look at the daily chart here. Let's see, daily chart. Okay, so again, we continue to remain in this bearish structure to the downside. I'm going to go ahead and turn off. We'll keep initial balance on for now. Turn off ADR and ASR. Okay, so you can see that we continue to remain in this bearish structure in this market. Okay, Now we're starting to see a little bit of life here from from buyers, right? While earlier we were kind of like free falling to the downside, now each push down is being met with more and more buyers here. Okay, and obviously we are at a level, we're at levels where we should be seeing some support in this market. Okay, we're at multiple levels here. This area right here, this area right here seems very ripe, right? Very ripe for buyers. This whole area right here. Okay, this should be a buy zone for crude. Okay, so this will maybe could eventually cause the market to rally from here. Okay, because I see evidence of support here. Now, if we do manage to get below, say 65 and let's say 65.40, then yeah, then all bets, we start opening up the door for maybe even further price movement to the downside. Okay, but for now, right now, it appears that while we are in some bearish structure, we are, developing a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern here. Okay, for a potential rally against an area of support. Now, we've been down this road before, right? We've had 3-bar reversals stall on us. Okay, so we have to be cognizant of the fact that we are still remaining in some bearish structure, but we are developing a bullish candle here. So we have to take note of that. All right. So looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we got a one single candle here at the start of London here that's kind of breached a lot of, I guess, hopeful sellers. Okay, here. And now we've gone up to a level around here, 67.50, and showing again some signs of weakness. Okay. So again, we still are very much in bearish structure. We just happen to be in a location that has historically been an area of demand. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, we have market just opened right on top of. I'm going to go ahead and remove our green bar here. Okay. We move right on top of value here, not value, our VWAP. Okay, just below it. We're developing just below it here. Okay, so assuming that we stay below it, well, really, what I see here logically is for price, right? Not to say that markets are always logical, but it seems like there's a natural extension down to this area of balance here. Okay, given assuming that we do get a close below this VWAP. But sometimes what seems obvious is not so obvious, right? The market has other things in mind here, so we have to be patient and see how this price action continues. Let's watch and see how this initial balance develops before we hastily move into any sort of execution. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile. We're going to start with the open of the session here at 9 a.m., move our way over to the close of the session. And you can see that we are above value here. Okay. So some buyers have stepped in, into this market. All right. Now, the question is, sellers have stepped in. Are we going to come back? Would be a real logical location, to have price come back to this area and offer us maybe another opportunity around 66.50 for an execution to the upside against value area high. Okay, that would be a logical hypo for me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up a anchor VWAP for the start of London here, and there is the start of London right about there in the middle. So I'm going to actually kind of use this pivot here and see, that's going to serve my view of London, because we had a little bit of a reversal once we made an attempt here to go higher here. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have our value area high. I'm going to go ahead and mark in my value area low. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ASR and ADR just to get a sense of where we are. So we've already exceeded average daily range to the upside, already in overnight trading, And then ASR here is also reacting. Okay, we've already reached that on the London side, and that's caused a reversal in price. Okay, so again, ASR and ADR offering us logical locations for price to reverse. Okay, so here we are. We did get a little bit of a pullback. We're back to our daily VWAP. Now the question is, are we going to be able to extend this move higher? Okay, because this area right here, okay, this area right here remains an area for the bears. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that is because we got to push lower. If obviously they're not going to want to see price break new highs or break the most recent high. Okay, so the expectation is that this area is going to serve as an area of resistance, right? An area that could potentially cause sellers to step back into the market. So if I'm going to embrace this long, I need to see price get above 67.50, all right, in order for me to really embrace the longs. Okay, otherwise I expose myself to the possibility of price coming into this area, okay, coming into this area and reversing. Okay, so doing one of these numbers, coming into here and then reversing away from it. Okay, that's the possibility here. Now, if we do manage to make a new high, well then that same high, okay, serves as an area for extension. Okay, so those are about three different hypos that I come up with on the crude oil chart. Okay, that could play out here in the market today. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the equities. I know everyone's interested. There's a lot of news and events that are happening on Friday today. Okay, so looking at the NQ, we're going to go ahead and turn off some of our levels here. Okay. Turn off initial balance since we're way away from that. Okay. So we got some reaction from the news. Okay. We initially went higher and then it kind of retraced. So we're going to go ahead and start with our daily chart. And I think everybody knows what kind of direction the market is looking to move. All right. So we've been in bearish structure of late. That doesn't mean that we cannot find some bullish opportunities. We just have to be aware that we are in bearish structure, okay, on a higher time frame. Okay, so anything that we take to the bullish side, I would say that have to be maybe tempered, right? We are in an area of support. Okay, so this area here around 20,000 is a supportive area. Okay, but I'm in a channel. Okay, I'm in a channel to the downside, right? I'm in a channel, I'm in a trend to the downside. Okay. So until I start to see some price breaking some structure to the upside, my view of this market is bearish. Okay. Well, bearish, even though I am coming into an area of demand, I have to respect the fact that we are still in a bearish channel. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Again, we see again more evidence here of lower lows and lower highs inside my channel again. Every time we've touched the top end of this channel, that's been met with sellers. Okay, we have to continue to respect that. Every pullback that we get, again, we should kind of expect to see this until we can break this area. We can break above and hold some of this price structure that we have above us. Okay, 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. I'm going to go ahead and remove my channels here. I think you guys understand what the point I was making there. Okay, so we made an attempt with the news to get above this area. That's been rejected. Okay, now we're at this 20,000 level. We're close to it, right? This is kind of my line in the sand, similar line that I had drawn for gold earlier. Okay, so this 20,000 level is going to be especially important. And that's not a resistance zone, but a more of a support zone. Okay. If we are going to maintain any sort of bullish posture in this market, and again, this market has not been bullish for sure of late. Okay. this level would need to hold. Okay. And we are, if we don't, the sellers do not seem to be afraid of it. Okay. Right now, price is continuing to hold around these levels. All right, let's move on and open up our fixed range volume profile. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and locate the start of yesterday's session to the close of yesterday's session. And you can see here that we are in this area of balance. There is temporary agreement on price here, okay? So no real advantage either way, okay? Only thing that, again, we are of late, okay, during overnight, we've been kind of in this range. On the news event, we had a little bit of a push higher, but was not able to hold it. Okay, price is below our VWAP, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchor VWAP, and I suspect that's going to be the same as well. Okay, below our anchor VWAP. Okay, so we have everything indicating that we are looking to head lower in this market. Okay. Let me go ahead and now open up our average daily ranges and average session ranges. So you can see here that the average daily range, we have a spot here at 19,981. Okay. That I feel like we're destined to reach. Okay. Today, 19,981. Average session range, also around this 20,000 level. Okay. Couple of areas here that again, I feel given this move that we are destined to reach, okay, at some point during the session. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I should be calling out here. I think those are so we have 20,000 here on the average session range, just a shade above it. And then we have 19,975, 978 on the ADR low side. Okay. So given this current price action, I would say that we are destined to reach these two levels, okay, before we see any sort of significant move potentially to the upside, okay? I think we're too far along this move not to come down and see and visit this area, okay? So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ, okay? We're going to go ahead and see if I have any questions. I don't see any questions, so we're going to move on to the ES. Okay, looking at the ES, well, the ES has already reached what I thought NASDAQ could reach already. Okay, so we're already there. Taking a look quickly at the daily chart, again, we are in very much a steady structure here to the downside. Okay, looking to head lower. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart, similar story. We are staircasing our way down. We have a developing bearish engulfing candle. Okay. Moving down to the 30-minute chart we were on earlier. Okay, we've reached ASR low. Okay, and I would say that we're probably not far from coming down to reaching 5,700 in this market. Okay, let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile here. Let's see. We're going to start with the start of the session yesterday. Here we are, drag that across. There we are. So again, technically we are still inside, okay, but we are challenging value area low, okay. So value area low should be a logical area for price to reverse away from, okay. If we happen to break value area low, okay, then value area low will serve as an area, right? Will serve as a resistance area, all right, for maybe a continuation move to the downside. We are at a spot. We are at a moment of decision. Yeah, you're welcome, Frizu. We are at a moment a moment of decision here in this market. Okay, so we'll have to see as the market opens here in about 15 minutes or so. What is going to happen? Are we going to get this push lower, and then maybe that's going to be met with some buying? I'm not sure. We are in a supportive area again in bearish structure. Okay, we have to understand we still are in bearish structure here. Okay, so anything on the bullish side, we have to temper our expectations. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here. I'm going to use one of these levels here. Okay, so our anchor VWAP is also showing that we are very much bearish in this market. So we have 57.27 is our average session range low. We have 57.18 and ultimately down to 5700 as our average daily range lows. Okay, so again, I feel like 5700 is a destined location for this market. Okay, ES. All right, we have not only that, we do see increasing volume in that direction. Our volume delta is aligned with the move. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing. All right, volume delta is aligned with the current price direction. All right. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for the ES. We'll close the session off with a review of the Dow. Okay, the Dow again, similar to the ES, has reached our average session range low here. I'm going to remove some of my drawings. Quickly take a peek here at the daily, but I know what that's telling me. Okay, we remain in bearish structure, coming into some areas of demand. Okay, important areas for the bulls. Okay, we'll see if they do indeed step into the market or let the market kind of continue its merry way down. Okay, 4-hour chart is probably going to tell us a similar thing here. Okay, staircasing our way lower. 30-minute chart, which we were just on, is up against average session lows here. Okay, I'm going to kind of squeeze this in. We can see that we are seeing an increase in volume to the downside. Okay, let's see. We're going to go ahead and let's see if we can change this here a little bit, not to take up as much space on my platform. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to drag this across from the start of yesterday to the close of yesterday. And again, similar kind of story. We're up against value area low. Again, could serve as an area for reversal in price. We have average session range low here as well. So this could serve as a logical area for maybe a bounce, okay, in this market, using the average session range as kind of a, an area where we can put our stops around, okay? Let's see. So we have 47,429 as our average session range low. We have 42,328 as our average daily range low. So again, and we have our value area low that's coming in at 42,450, looks like, around that range. Okay, is our value area low. Okay, so right now, again, continue to be in this bearish structure to the downside. We are in some areas that could produce maybe a bounce in the market. Don't know for certain whether that's going to take place. I'm going to be patient and wait for maybe another bar or two to kind of give me some indication that maybe that is a possibility. Okay. And then we'll also wait for my initial balance range to establish before I take on any sort of execution. Okay. But for now, it does appear that equities are quite bearish across all markets. NASDAQ, ES, Dow, all very bearish, coming into some areas where we could potentially see a bounce. It would not surprise me if we did bounce off these areas, maybe take us back to our VWAPs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my VWAP here. So would not be a surprise if we got back on a bounce back up to 42,700 maybe. Before maybe we continue our trek to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I have today, guys, for the markets. Again, encourage folks to hit the likes, hit the subscribes, make a comment or two on how this analysis is supporting your analysis and preparation for the markets. That's pretty much all I have. So as we close all our sessions here, guys. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, enjoy. Be safe. Today's Friday. Not a day to give back capital that we've earned so hard over the week. Okay. careful, right? If you see the opportunities, certainly seize them, right? But we don't want to give away everything that we've earned over the week in one day. All right. So keep that in mind. As they say, capital preservation Fridays. Okay. That's what Fridays are all about. Preserve our capital. And we can always move on to the next week. There's always next week to trade. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. We'll close off this session again. Have a fantastic session, a profitable session. Trade your processes and strategies. Don't stray away from them. Wait for your confirmations and benefit from them. All right. Enjoy your trading session, and we'll talk again on Monday.